Prom Queen. Not really. Welcome everyone to our bonus book club. Fear Street, the Prom Queen. I've got my little crown on, painted my nails, and I've got some probably got lipstick on my teeth. I've got some very special guests joining us, so I'll just add them in. Who should add first? Dustin. Hope you had fun with this one because I was laughing so much. Right, let me add. See, I chat too much and then I forget who I've added. Hi, Dustin.
Hey!
Hello. Oh, look at you. If I could whistle, then I would, but I can't. Oh,
I'm
you
all
look
dressed
so...
up. I'm ready for the prom.
I know. Oh, and you know, oh, bless you. You look so sweet. Hang on, who have I not added? I haven't added anyone else in, I don't think. I got distracted by your good looks and
Well,
charm.
thank you. Got
Right.
this red. We're good to go.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, and hi everyone. Hi Hiko.
Hey!
Hi.
Hello. You're right. Look at
Sorry,
That's
you as
close.
well.
I'm not as fancy. I did not have time to grab my tux.
Oh, no, you look wonderful. Beautiful.
And I think it has even a little blood trail on it as well.
Oh,
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 that
wow.
was me. That was me.
Was it you,
I did
Justin?
that.
Right, I'm trying to add Jessie in, but it's saying unable to join. Oh, dear.
Uh-oh.
One
Well,
second. Let me try again. Right. I've got my crown already, you know, because prom queen. Hopefully I don't get murdered. Here's Jessie. Whoopee!
oh,
Aw.
Oh,
Jessie
look
Dudamus.
at you. You
We
like the
all look so
perfect
dashing.
dates.
Got competing prom queens here.
Oh, I'd go to prom with you all, definitely. Oh, well, thanks for joining us. And for those who don't know, the wonderful Dustin is here, who is no stranger to the book club, host of the
Hello.
Rewatch Recap, and the Fab Dustin Can Read book club, and just also my very good friend, my Dusty Bun, looking very dashing tonight.
Thank you.
We also have joining us Jessie from Jessie's House of Pulp, who posts lots of R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike, Fear Street posts, and he's just an awesome person. So do check Jessie out. And he called you Christopher then. I was getting confused with Christopher Pike.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Yeah, mine's not with it. And we have the wonderful Hiko from Fear Street Diaries, who posts all things Fear Street and he's just an awesome human being as well. And you're such huge Fear Street fans. I was like, who could I do this chat with? Because I believe this might be my 100th live chat that I've done, but give or take, 'cause I might have messed it up a little bit in October.
We'll just pretend it is.
100. So 100 of seeing my face on a live chat. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but here we
We'll
are.
just say it's the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, makes me feel very old.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're all right. So you're all huge Fear Street fans. So I just want to know before we start off chatting, like, when did you discover Fear Street and why did it leave such an impression on you, Dustin?
Um, I discovered Fear Street in seventh grade, and me and Hiko had the same book. Halloween Party was our first Fear Street books. So, and I was all into Halloween, so it sold me from the beginning. And I did her book report on it, and that was all she wrote. I had more. I had to get more in me. I had to read
Oh,
more. It was awesome.
oh, that's brilliant. How about you, Hiko?
Yeah, I believe I was in the fifth grade when I saw Halloween Party at my local bookshop. My mother told me to go pick out something to read while she was, shopping for something to read. Well, I think we might have been going on vacation, but I remember reading it. I was drawn to the cover art. I loved spooky season as a little kid, still do. And it was like I was also loving horror movies and slasher movies, much to my mom's dismay. But Um, but I thought this was a great chance to like read about, teens getting killed at a Halloween party, like a slasher movie
Mm.
kind of. So I was hooked and then realized there were more books before it. I think Halloween Party was maybe eighth in the
Hmm.
series. And then I backtracked, read the back catalog, and then for the next 9 years, I was reading every one that came out,
Wow.
published,
Oh,
and
I love
just
that.
loved it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that. And how about you, Jesse?
Probably fourth or fifth grade, I would go to the library every weekend, and they had the YA section with the turnstile with all the Fear Street books and the point horror books. And I think my first one was either Surprise Party or New Girl, which is the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just get a whole stack of Fear Street and Point Horror and Christopher Pike and just take them home every weekend and just devour them. They were very quick, fast reads. So
Mm.
my mom would let me buy the Christopher Pike paperbacks, but because I would burn through those Fear Street paperbacks, several in a day, she said no way. So yeah, it was the library every weekend, just had the stacks and stacks of Stein and Point
Oh,
Horror.
I love that, and it made such an impression on you all that you're like even huge fans now. Because I feel like I came to Fear Street late over here in the UK. Like it was all about the point horror. Those were the ones that were mainly on the shelves over here. And then obviously Point Horror Unleashed. So, and then all of a sudden one day I just spotted like a Fear Street. So my first one was The Haunted. Um, I believe. Sure it was. I can
Hmm.
picture the cover. And
Hmm.
and yeah, so I picked that up thinking, oh, that looks kind of super cool. But obviously we didn't get these cool covers over here. We had like different covers. So that was kind of like my first entry into Fear Street. But yeah, don't think we got as many over here as in the US, sadly. I could be wrong. Over to you, Notice Heather said the library turnstile.
Yes.
Oh, memories. Sharon said, you all look fabulous. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Zelda said, I love everyone's outfit so much. And happy 100th, Sharon said. And Kirsty said, it's a wonderful thing. Oh, bless. Narissa said, loving the looks. Like to think that your sash from being actual prom king, Jesse. Is it?
No.
Yeah.
I was prom king.
Was
Oh,
Dustin,
you?
Not at my
wow.
Tell
school, but
us.
I was the prom king of the first gay prom in Memphis.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Oh,
I have
that's
pictures, but
so
they're like in an album
oh,
cool.
somewhere,
oh,
buried somewhere.
that's
But
oh.
yeah, fabulous. I love it.
yeah, I got that was my
Oh,
Aw,
first pride
wow.
parade too. I got to ride on the back of a truck and wave as the first prom king. It was
Oh
great.
my
Oh,
gosh, that's
oh,
cute.
that's so lovely. Oh, you have to see if you can find those pictures.
Hmm.
That'd be so cool to see. But when I was at school, we didn't have prom over here. Now it's more we people, they do have prom. Like my son had a prom. It's more like prominent now. But back then, no, we didn't. It was just like the park on a Saturday night, sit on the bench with your cider, and that was it. Oh dear. So yeah, we didn't get a prom. Heather said I worked in a library for many years until my job was phased out. Oh, chatting to Stargazer, technology good and bad. And Larissa said, damn right you were, Dustin. Can't believe you didn't know that, Shelley. Yeah, I can't believe you must have mentioned to me at some
I,
point, but it's just
I
never
probably I have. I know
stayed
I
in
have
my
it.
brain.
You have a lot of stuff coming at you at once, so I'm not going to blame you for it.
Oh dear. Yeah, Atia said, wish we had more Fear Streets in the UK. Love the outfits. Teddy said, Park and Cider, they were the good times. Yeah,
Hmm.
bit of White Lightning.
Yeah.
And no, Larissa, I didn't even have a 6-year ball. Nothing. Our school just didn't do anything. It was very strange. But
Wow.
yeah, so I know, sad. Oh, we did have school discos, yeah,
hmm.
but other than that, nothing special.
Oh, you called
Um,
them school discos, not school dances?
yeah,
Oh, that's
disco.
That sounds a lot gayer.
Yeah, it's like the highlight of the school. Yeah, school disco. Oh, yes. So Prom Queen was a first time read for me. I know, I think you all have read it before. So
Mhm.
I'd never read this, and I wanted to read it, obviously, because being the 100th chat, but also the movie's coming out next year. And I was like, oh, I want to see why they picked this one. And I think I can see why they did pick this one.
Mhm.
Because it would hopefully translate to the screen. So I will ask you about what your hopes are for the movie, like towards the end, but we'll get into the book and see what we all thought. So the tagline for this one was, "She was drop dead beautiful." I mean, she is. Look at that cover, gorgeous.
Great
uh,
makeup.
yeah, exactly. Contour. It was a spring night, soft moonlight. Five beautiful prom queen candidates. I'm butchering this. Let me start again. A spring night, soft moonlight. Five beautiful prom queen candidates. Dancing couples at the shady side high prom. These should be the ingredients for romance, but instead they're a recipe for terror. So it's 5 weeks till prom, and everyone is looking forward to it. And they decided to hold the prom at the newly refurbished Halsey Manor House in the middle of the Fear Street woods, which just happens to be where they found a dead body of a girl at the start. At the start, like, yeah, let's
I
That's
just
don't
that's
hold it there.
understand
so
why the faculty would be like, you know what? That girl was. While we were looking at that girl's body, I saw that house.
but
That's what your prom should be.
then again, that's so shady side.
Right.
It
Yeah,
is
absolutely. Yeah. Perfect venue.
I was,
the
I
shady
was
side of
like,
it all.
perfect choice, perfect choice. Oh dear. So 5 prom queens have been selected, and the winner will receive a $3,000 scholarship, which back in the 90s, whew. But someone, I mean, even now, to be fair, but someone seems to be killing off all these prom queens one by one. Dum dum dum. so, this story is very much told from our main character, Lizzie, her point of view. So, what did you think of Lizzie as a main character, Jesse?
To be honest, I thought Lizzie was a bit of a drip compared
Ooh!
compared to compared to the wild personalities of the other four girls,
Mm,
especially. Yeah, I mean, she was a great main character kind of POV, but I will say with some of these books, oftentimes you will get the main character who's just kind of just not that interesting. It's the other, kids around
mm,
them that just have a lot more personality or there's a lot more going on. But she's kind of our through line, the story.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How about you, Dustin? Did you like Lizzie?
She's okay. I mean, she's the best one out of her friend group, and that's not really saying
Right.
much. So,
Yeah. They were so awful. They're
yeah,
so awful to each other. Oh dear. Yeah, so she was okay for you, yeah, not
yeah,
not a huge fan.
yeah.
How about you,
She's
Hiko?
passable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about you, Hiko?
I thought she was okay as well. I remember with a few exceptions. I remember when I was reading Fear Street, I always didn't prefer when R.L. Stine wrote in the first person from a character's point of view.
Mm.
That wasn't my preference in his books, just because I'm thinking, oh, it's like a middle-aged white guy writing as a teenage girl. That's through a 2024 lens now
Hmm.
too, but
Yeah.
um, that you have that perspective. But it was all right because I guess she had to be a little soft and bland for the other characters to stand out the way
Hmm.
she describes them. And I did appreciate some cameos from previous Fear Street characters, like
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
what
Yeah.
cameos were there?
yeah,
It was like Lisa and Suki, right? Or
Suki. Yeah.
Ah.
Hmm.
I did wonder when I was reading those. I thought, oh, I wonder if like they are from previous books. Like, was Suki like the one that was meant to be a bit slutty? Like goes
Yeah.
with everybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, I wonder if she's appeared before, like in a book somewhere.
Hmm.
I thought she's bound to. Yeah, so it's interesting you say about the point of view as well, because when I was reading it, like, just because I'll be honest, I try not to read blurbs too much on books because I like to go in a little bit blind sometimes. So when I was first reading it, I was very confused because I was like, wait, we don't know this character's name. We didn't find out her name until like a good way, well, not too far in the book, but a
Hmm.
good few chapters. And I was like, oh, is this like really going to be the killer? Like, so that's what I was thinking initially because I hadn't read the blurb to see what it was all about. So I found the point of view quite interesting for me. I thought it was different. And then I did wonder if it was like that in other Fear Street books. So is it
Hmm.
just like ad hoc? Like sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I think I kind of liked it. um, but Lizzie, for me, like she grew on me throughout the book. Like I wasn't sure to start with, but as you say, like the compared to her other friends, she was the level-headed one.
Hmm.
But I think she grew and she got better. Like, I mean, there will be spoilers for the book, but especially like when she does turn down Justin to go to the prom and things like that. It just made me think, oh, actually, I think would she have done that at the beginning? I'm not sure. So
And
she
she
grew
was
on me.
and she was ready to give up the prom queen competition, granted after a
Mm.
couple of dead bodies pop up.
Hmm.
But unlike Dawn, who was still charging forward and like really wanted that crown. Jeez, Dawn. Um,
She wins everything, that
Yeah,
Dawn.
she does. Hmm.
yeah.
Oh, so talking about Dawn then, were you a Dawn fan or not, Hiko?
Oh yeah, I mean she was a great almost mean
Mm.
girl archetype kind of you can totally you would expect a character like that to get killed right off the bat too.
Mm.
Like the first one to go, someone who's mean, you want to see them get their comeuppance. But I think she functioned as a good contrast to, the semi-nice Lizzie.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Jesse? Did you like Dawn?
I actually really liked Dawn. She was very quippy and snarky and sarcastic. So that personality absolutely spoke to me as the reader. So,
Yeah.
and she makes it to, I mean, spoiler, she, makes it to the end. She's one of our, quote unquote final girls. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Dawn holds a special place in my heart.
She taught us all a valuable lesson that being cozy and warm in a double like duffel coat, whatever it was, bomber jacket coat, is very sensible because it could save
Yes.
your life.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Dustin? Did you like Dawn?
As a character to read, and yes, but as a person, if I were interacting with Dawn, I would want her off first. Um, she, from the get-go, is a horrible person. Her first line is talking about the girl that got killed. Her name was Stacy, the one they found in the woods.
Yeah.
And she says at least she won't have to worry about finding a date to prom. It's like, dang,
Oh,
whoa, Dawn, blazing. Come
yeah.
on.
No.
She belongs
Tough.
on like a Ryan Murphy
Oh,
teen show.
oh,
Yes,
100%. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
She's a Cheerio. That's what she is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down that line as well, Dustin, because I was just like, oh, like when I
I
read
was
it.
like,
I
damn.
was like, ouch, that's got
Cold.
to
She's
sting.
cold.
Oh dear. I think at one point as well, I probably wrote it down somewhere. I'm sure she's the one who says the
Oh no.
psycho line. Oh, we lost
Oh
Hiko.
no.
Hiko
I'll
popped
add him
out.
Oh.
back. She said something about a psycho or something. Oh, psychos are allowed to wear maroon as well, or something. Or
Yeah,
one of them says that, and I was just like, oh wow, she really does like speak
Yeah.
her mind.
She's
Yeah.
what it's they see the news story in her comments like, well, she's not smiling anymore, right?
Oh,
I mean, my God,
oh,
Dawn is like horrible. All
Yeah.
these girls are dying around her, and she's like, I got to get prom queen. Like, girl. I mean,
oh
it's probably
dear.
obvious they're trying to set her up to look like the bad
Hmm.
guy, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
You think she was like meant to be the red herring? There was a few times I did think,
mhm.
could it be Dawn? So it did do the trick.
Hmm.
For me, I did like suspect her a little bit, but I think I suspected most people as I was reading. I'll be honest. But I have wrote down something about. I've written Dawn's honesty. Let me just see what I've written. The page number, and I've not written anything else. Let me just see. Oh yes, I loved this quote from Dawn. So on page 59, she says basically she was just being a bit insensitive, as we know Dawn. So she's like, what happened to Simone? So this is when Simone has disappeared. What happened to Simone is a tragedy. I'm as sorry as you guys are, but let's not exaggerate. Simone was never my best friend. And if you guys are honest with yourselves, you'll admit she wasn't your best friend either.
Hmm.
And I was like, ooh, the tea. Oh.
I
But
had
I
that one.
admire
I
her
had that one marked as
honesty.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Honesty, I admired because, yeah, that was one of, at least she was honest. And I did do a little laugh when she got hit on the head outside in the theatre foyer. It couldn't happen in the dark, in the theatre, in the cinema. Yeah, outside in the foyer in front of everybody. With all
And
the,
no one
oh, with all,
saw.
I just kept imagining she's like, when you go in like to the cinema or the theatre, like, and it's like sometimes the floor feels a bit crusty, doesn't it, on the
Uh,
floor as you walk in? And I was like, oh, she's probably conked out, and she's like on the
yeah,
floor.
all that butter and soda and yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, everything. Oh dear, I'll just read some of the comments. Larissa said, I do wish the first films had just been the cheerleader series straight up. So talking about the Fear Street films. Stephen said they got the venue cheap for the prom. Yeah, discount price. Larissa said, to quote Teen Creeps, how can they think about a murder with prom coming up? How can they think about prom with a murder?
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Stargazer said they might have been beautiful, but they were awful people. They were so mean to each other until they got knocked off. They all had a shady side. Oh, oh, I mean, they were awful as well to poor. Was it Rachel? So they kept commenting all the time on
Literally
how
poor
poor she
Rachel.
was.
Or
Yeah, poor
Literally.
Rachel. Like the poor little thing. I keep saying poor now, and now I feel really bad. But
I mean,
like,
well, that's what
what?
Lizzie did. Every time she mentioned Rachel, by the way, she's poor.
yeah,
And,
Yeah,
she's pretty, but by the way,
That's
she's poor.
she's
She's
poor.
not as rich as everybody else. And
her
every
one
time she brought up Rachel,
characteristic.
by the way, the girl ain't got no money. Like,
Right. Yeah.
That's why.
I,
That's why Shelley, your video that you posted using the Scream Queens clip was perfect
Mm.
because it totally
Wow.
fit that sensibility and
mhm.
attitude that some of these girls had. So
yeah.
that was
That's why I was like, I'm so glad you guys were on board to like play along with that as well. Thank you guys, because I was like,
Absolutely.
when I was reading this book, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we've got to do this. This is like perfect. Oh dear. Yeah. So, what did you think? Did you like Rachel, and how did you feel about it? Keep coming up about her being poor Hiko.
well. I found it interesting that I tried to look for more well-rounded traits in her. Like she was poor or she was nerdy, but yet she had a boyfriend who was somewhat mysterious.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm.
usually the poor characters are like the outcast loners, but she was still a part of this group, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I I kept picturing. It's funny. Some of the names, like I associate names with certain characteristics and looks, but sometimes R.L. Stein describes them in a different way, and so
Hmm.
Mm,
they're always conflicting with what I imagine them to look like, the way he describes them sometimes, or their backgrounds. So
yeah.
yeah, with Rachel, I kind of had that push and pull.
Hmm.
And she was the one, I know when I watched your chat, Dustin, that you did a month or so ago with Fear Street Chat, and you mentioned about the red hair. And I
Mm.
made a note that Rachel had the red hair, and I was like, red
Hmm.
hair,
Hmm.
tick on the
Yeah.
bingo card. But I probably wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't have done it in your chat. So yeah, well done,
I'm
Dustin.
surprised. That's a
Yeah.
big trope
Hmm.
in all the Fear Street books.
Yeah.
I think it's
Mm,
because isn't it
yeah.
because I think R.L. Stein's wife is a redhead, I think.
Oh,
And I think
She
that's why
was.
he did that.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. His
mm,
wife,
very
his wife
interesting.
Jane. Yeah.
I think
Oh.
Christopher Pike do redheads as well? He does the name Anne is in all of his books, but I think Christopher Pike also does redheads.
He
I'm not
Oh.
does
sure.
Anne. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
Anne because he has a sister
Yeah.
named Anne. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that. I love how they put elements of like the personal life in the book somewhere along the line as
Hmm.
well. That's good. How about you, Jesse? Did you like Rachel? And
I think my only note about Rachel is poor. I
oh,
think that was my only
poor
note.
Rachel.
Poor Rachel and Gideon, and she lives on Fear Street, so
Yeah,
that's our connection
yeah.
to Fear Street, other than the venue that they've set up, which I think I'm going to defer to Hiko here, but I don't think they've mentioned that mansion before, right? That's just
Oh,
like a
No,
one-off.
it would have been cool if like it was brought up that they renamed the Fear
Fierce,
Mansion.
yeah, that's
You
because it was just
know,
the Fear Mansion,
yeah,
yeah, and so I don't know where this. I don't think he
in the
ever
book.
mentions this house again in the other
Yeah.
oh.
And
books. Yeah,
the same
Yeah,
thing for the house in Halloween Party.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
completely different house. Like how many
Oh.
mansions do they have on Fear Street? And it's supposed to be like the rundown poorer neighborhood.
right. Yep.
So
Hmm.
I don't yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
Interesting.
also, last thing on Rachel, she's a good red herring too. I
Mm.
mean, she would have been a good choice. She's not obviously, but
Mm.
yeah, I think she was one of the good red herrings as well.
Yeah, it's funny. I never suspected Rachel. I don't know why. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't.
Hmm.
But my favorite Rachel scene was when I think Lizzie, like, she phones Lizzie up, like, "Help me, Lizzie!" Like down the phone, like all dramatic. So Lizzie obviously thinks like, "Oh, the killer's after her," and whatnot. So Lizzie races over, knocks a raccoon on the way, and we don't find out what she did with the raccoon. Knocks over this raccoon, goes storming into the house, running up the stairs, and it was just because Gideon had broken up with Rachel. And then Rachel goes, "You're dripping all over my floor," because it was like a rainy night, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
and Lizzie's like, you got a towel for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, really? Like, she just raced over, like, the phone line cut out. Suspicious. And then, yeah, you're
Rachel's
dripping
like, we
all
gotta
over my
preserve
floor.
this floor. We don't have the money to replace it, okay? Don't
Oh,
trip on my floor.
poor Rachel. Poor Rachel.
Oh,
um,
Lordy.
Narissa said, first person point of view often feels jarring in Fear Street. Oh, okay. It'd be interesting, like, once I read more, whether I find it, more irritating than I did in this one, because I kind of liked it in this one. Although, as I said, I did think at the start that she was going to be the killer, but it was going to be a double bluff. Larissa said, "Did Corky turn up? She's always cameoing." I didn't notice Corky
Mm-mm,
turn up in this
mm-mm.
one. Sad times.
Well,
Stargazer said,
actually,
"Oh, go
I
on."
thinking of the Fear Street timeline, cheerleaders didn't come out until the summer after this book came
Hmm.
out.
Yeah, cheerleaders was later.
Ah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay. So it makes sense then.
Hmm.
Um, Stargazer said Suki was the tramp. Oh, poor Suki.
Mm.
Stephen from Creek Talk podcast said, I'm not a fan of the first person point of view in these books. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Heather said, the last few books I've read by Stein, the friends are really terrible to each other, like really bad. Yeah, they just shouldn't have been friends.
I think the one time that a first person point of view, there have been a few times where it really works for the book. Especially one that comes to mind is Switched, because it has one of the best plot twists or twist endings in Fear Street history. So sometimes it's the first person point of view can really work to the favor of the narrative.
Yeah. I think if it works for the book, then you're onto a winner, doesn't it? But it is always a bold choice, I think. First person, definitely. I have to read Switched. I have got that one. I just got that recently, so I need to read that one.
Oh, okay.
So Stargazer said, this was only my second book and I've been wondering if they're always horrible people. Yeah, because the last time we read Halloween Night by R.L. Stein and they were awful. But I think the characters in this book were worse than Halloween Night.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
Well, and since we're going into the holiday season, if you want a whole trilogy surrounding one horrible main character, there's the Silent Night trilogy with Reva, Dalby.
Yes.
That's his favorite character.
Yeah.
That's our
Oh,
Stan's favorite character, apparently.
She is she's one of the best. Yeah. And those are some of the best of the books too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I haven't read those, but I've heard about this character a lot, so I'm definitely going to have to read those ones. I do love like a really horrible character who you love to hate. Definitely. Stephen said Dawn was a memorable character because she did not give a fuck. Yeah, she just really didn't. Yeah. Stephen says Dawn was hilarious. Stargazer said, I couldn't decide who was the worst person. So what do you think? Who was the worst friend? Dustin, what do you think?
I'm gonna say Dawn. She didn't care about any of her friends at all. They're all getting killed. She's like, okay, Prom, what are we doing? Like,
I'm gonna win.
You know what? I like that dress more. I'm just gonna snatch it out of your hand.
The dress. The dress scene. Whoa.
She's horrible.
Yeah.
You're too short for this dress. Like, what?
She literally like steals it from her, goes and tries it on. Is like, yeah, I'm buying this.
Well, she knew Lizzie wasn't going to fight back. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. And then at the end, she's obviously given Lizzie the dress, hasn't she? At the end, and she's like, it looks so much better on you. I'm like, oh god. Oh, how about you, Jessie? Who was the worst friend out of them all?
Well, technically, Simone is the worst friend because spoiler. So I would say technically Simone, but Dawn is pretty awful as well.
Yeah.
I mean, can't really blame Simone. She had some, pretty stark motives for what she did, but but Dawn is pretty horrible for sure.
And how about you, Hiko? Oh, sorry, go on, Dustin.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, I kind of had the impression that only Rachel, Dawn, and Lizzie were really friends, and the other ones, they were just acquaintances. So that's why I went with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Hiko.
Frenemies. Yeah, frenemies.
Yeah. Keep your frenemies close.
Well, I'd say I wouldn't pit women against women. So I'm gonna say Justin, because he went with all the girls and dated all. He was a player. He was no, I'm sorry. Well, he was the slut. He the himbo, the cad, and he, his girlfriend goes missing, and then he moves on to the next girl, and then she dies, and he was rotten.
Yeah.
So
he really was. Even like when they get nominated for the prom queens as well, he's like at the back flirting with somebody, and then like Simone's just like, On the stage, getting angrier and angrier.
You know what I was thinking? Like someone wrote, I was like, this would not pass the Bechdel test. This entire plot.
Yeah.
Because it was
I
all
had the
about
same
boy.
thought.
Yep.
I had the same thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh dear.
Google Alison Bechdel test
Yeah.
if you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And so as we're talking about Justin, then, so
Lucas.
are we? Oh, and Lucas. Oh, so basically the boys in this book. So technically, I think the boys were worse than the girls in this book. So obviously we had Justin and Lucas were the main ones. So let's talk about Justin first. So do you think that he redeemed himself in any way by the end of the book? Because he was a douchebag. Dustin?
No. No, he did not.
Do you think he worked it out? Do you think he'd worked it out that it was Simone?
Oh no, I don't think he cared enough to even think about it.
Yeah.
Like he was just like Hiko said, he just dating. Oh, this one's gone. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go to this one now, and then I'm already with this person, but I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna ask these people on dates, and all their friends didn't care that they were screwing over that girl either. So
yeah,
no one cared about anybody in this entire thing. So, but he didn't care. He didn't care at the end either. He did not care.
He was an F boy.
Yeah.
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 Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Great Rachel
Getting them
Harrison.
to do his homework for him. Because he ended up like doing all these like study sessions with people, and I'm thinking that he was getting them to do the homework for him.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
probably what he was doing. He probably those.
Yeah.
Study session. Yeah.
And what was weird, like, that he was sitting in Lizzie's kitchen in the dark. Like, and I think, and like, he said, "Oh, your mom let me in and said I could wait for you."
Let me just
like, I was like,
I'm going to hold on to this letter opener and.
"Oh, the letter opener scene." Yeah,
But that
was
wasn't
weird.
the creepiest. That wasn't the creepiest thing. If we talk about what's his name, Lucas.
Yeah,
Lucas.
Lucas is psychotic.
Lucas with his eyes together like a fox. Like,
and he snuck into her car in Lizzie's car behind the back. In the back.
Oh yeah.
And then apparently his dog died and he hung it from a tree.
What?
At some point.
I must have missed that bit. I've obviously blocked that out of my mind.
Oh.
That was the rumor.
Well, yeah, it was it was a rumor that his dog had died and he hung it from a tree. Which I fully believe that happened. So
the kids are not all right.
No. Lucas is absolutely psychotic and needs to be put away. Yeah, no, I mean that's
Shady Side is full of white trash.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, and doesn't he corners Lizzie up in the prop room or something, which is above the theatre? Is this like a normal thing? So above the stage, the prop room was in the rafters or something? That's how I was picturing it in my head. And I was like, this is very odd.
Yeah.
Like to me. But
almost like a crawl space kind of room. Or
I was like, but how would like just the logistics? This is what was going through my brain. I was like, right, if you have to carry heavy props up there and then get them back down, like, I mean, you got to be fit to like go up and down. But, yeah, but yeah, I think Lucas' corners are up there at some point as well, and the whole scene when we're introduced to Lucas, where he like puts his hand on the window of the car as well, and he's like, "You will go to prom with me. You're going to prom with me," like, you know, and I'm like, no, just no, Lucas, no. But he did keep a diary of gruesome deaths that he saw on TV, and I thought, oh, well, what a catch. It sounds like something I would do. We won't go there. Oh dear, yeah. Larissa said in The Babysitter, Stein did seem to think corduroy was gender specific. Oh, so the outfit choices. Stargazer said, I wondered if it was Lizzie herself at one point. Well, yeah, that's what I thought at the beginning. I thought, oh, we're going to get like a twist. Stephen said Dormer's keeping it 100%. I've got a bit behind on the comments, sorry. Narissa said, look, things are popping off at Shady Side High every day. Pulverised by pottery wheels, boiled alive by showers, zombie people, ghost revenge. They can only retain so much empathy.
Every single book, they're surprised by the deaths that are happening. And I'm like, if you've not, this has been happening, guys. So where are you at?
Oh dear.
There are
yes.
rumors about Fear Street. No, they ain't rumors anymore, guys.
Facts.
Don't go
Facts.
I
there.
mean, every Shady Side resident has to know someone who has been murdered or died.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You ever noticed, like, there's always somebody new moving to town because everybody else is leaving?
Because everybody's dying, right?
Rent
There's
is
like
cheap.
free
Rent is
properties.
cheap.
Yeah. Cheap
Yeah.
rent.
Yeah, the turnover on Fear Street alone, right? Just everybody moving in and out of the neighborhood.
It'd be fun to create like a fake Zillow page of like Fear Street properties.
I like that.
We should just all pull our money together and buy some land in Ohio and just like
call it the Fear Mansion.
Yeah.
or just like some big, like a bunch of acres and just make a mini Shady Side. We can make it a theme park where you're getting chased.
Right.
That would be cool. So cool. Teddy said, poor Rachel, literally, yeah. Kirsty said it was just how they got on with everything after the murders. So no mourning, no curfews. At least Lizzie's parents decided not to go out and leave her alone at the end. So how do we feel about the parents in this? Because I didn't think they really cared that much. I know, like they said they did,
No.
but they didn't, did they?
The parents are just as awful as the kids, guys. They don't care about the kids, and the kids don't care about each other.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure on the parents. And at one point, I was suspecting, was it Rachel's dad? This is what I mean. My mind went like, because I was like, oh, no, was it her dad? No, Lizzie's dad. I thought, oh, he's been a bit like all of a sudden he's in a room, like standing in the doorway, and she hadn't noticed. I don't know. I just found him a bit creepy, probably unintentionally. But Creek Talk podcast said, I love how Rachel being poor was always held against her. Speed Rating said, I can't believe how the school just carried on with the production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so alongside the prom, we had this production of The Sound of Music.
I feel like this book could have been called like, I don't know, Final Bow or like really we don't get to the prom literally until the last 2 pages of this book. So
taking the stage or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And like they're expecting to rehearse for this show that's happening at the same time as the prom. It was, I don't know, it seemed what's the word? Superfluous, or what's the word? It was interesting choice that he decided to have a production go on at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, right? Everybody's very busy, preparing for the play and worrying about the nominations and worrying about, their friends getting bumped off one by one. So a lot
Life goes on.
Life goes on. We
The
go
show
to
must
prom.
the
Right.
show
The
must go.
show must go on. Yeah.
You know what, though? Maybe it's because of all the deaths that they have in Shady Side, especially because of Fear Street, that they're just kind of numb to it now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm scared, but not enough to not go to prom.
Yeah, it's like, look at that! Oh, that bloody dead body! Oh, all in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw one of those last week.
Yeah.
Show me something new. No, I was really surprised how little of the prom we saw, because I was expecting some big prom showdown and because I love a prom setting, especially if there's murder and things like that. So I was expecting this big showdown at the end at the prom. I even thought it was going to be one of the teachers who was the killer at one point.
Ooh, the Muppet.
Love
That'd
it.
been funny if he
Oh,
came out with a knife like,
Well, that's
oh
what
dear.
I think the movie next year will make up for that. I
Yeah.
think that's my hypothesis theory about
Ah.
the movie. I mean, I like that it's taking place in the 80s, so
Mm.
we can get some gaudy 80s fashion in the prom
Mhm.
dresses.
Yeah, and the
And from
soundtrack as well would
Hmm.
be
yeah.
good, I reckon.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, and like a good 80s prom. Just the visuals for that would probably be good. And I think we are going to get an actual prom in the movie just based on the little behind the scenes
Mhm.
footage that they
Mm,
Hmm.
released in
mm,
Yeah.
that reel. So
yeah.
I'm
I
I'm
think,
I'm I'm
yeah.
I'm really not expecting the movie to stay faithful to this
Hmm.
book because
Ah.
I think
I don't
I can see it being
either.
more slashery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this
That's
is pretty slashery, but at the same time, I think we're probably going to see Stacy's death in the beginning.
mm,
We're probably going to see
mm.
it happen,
Yeah, like
and
straight off the
then
bat.
An opening
if
death.
if
Hmm.
if we even get the same character names, because I was looking through the IMDb and there's a lot of names listed, not the main characters, but a lot of ones that don't even mention, and the cops'
Mm,
names are different, everything. So I'm like, they're just taking the premise of a prom queen slasher, and that's
Right.
it. I
mm,
think that's all they're
Yeah.
doing.
mm.
Hmm. Same.
Yeah. Oh, I do hope that they, use the prom element a little bit more than they did. Because I was
Mm.
so surprised that it was more theatre related, more production. So I'm hoping for that. But yeah, and more. This felt very slashery to me, but I hope for more slasher vibes in the films, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Jesse? What are you looking forward to in the film, or hoping
I'm looking,
for?
yeah, I'm looking for a great killer design. I'm really curious what they're gonna do. Because in the book, it's just she's wearing a Letterman jacket and a baseball cap. So I'm hoping we get kind of just what the killer is gonna look like, what
Oh
the outfit, what
yeah.
the killer's costume is gonna be. So, and
Mm.
I'm hoping for a kind of a third act prom bloodbath, right? Like we're actually
Yes.
at the school, prom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of curious to see. But yeah, this one is very slashery. This is one of my favorite books. There's, none, like very few of the egregious fake outs or anything like that, and kids are actually getting bumped off. So I think
Mm.
I really want them to kind of lean into that in the film.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want them
definitely.
to maybe at least keep the prom in the mansion on Fear Street. That
That
would be
would be
Ah,
good because we need
amazing.
Fear
Yeah.
Street featured in the movie
Yes.
because it wasn't really
yes.
featured at
Yeah.
all in the
Yeah.
first three. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got a 2-second shot of a street sign. That's
Right.
it. So
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really interesting. Oh, just bear with me a sec. Oh, hello. So I'm being attacked by a kitty. You're coming up. I was like, what's that? Made me jump. Um,
It's Simone.
yeah, she's coming for me. So yeah, so I am hoping that it is set on Fear Street. This one, like like
mhm.
you said, Dustin. So that would be really cool, and then hopefully they can expand on that more. And I hope with this one that they really like. For me, I did like the previous Fear Street, the trilogy. I did like it, but I'm not read enough Fear Street not to like it. Does that make sense? So
Mhm.
I really hope for the fans of Fear Street that this one, is for them more. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
I just want it to feel more like the
Yeah,
books.
Sure.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's what I want for the film, that it is more like that, for the people who've been fans of Fear Street for
Right.
so many years. So
Don't get me
fingers
wrong. I
crossed.
like the first three. There was just certain elements I wish they could have
Yeah.
done
Hmm.
better. Like I don't mind if it's its own original story. I don't care
Mm,
about any of that as long as it has that element, that suburban gothic murder mystery thriller going on for it. That's what and on
yeah.
Fear Street. So
Mm,
don't say the
yeah.
name of the movie and don't fear like don't feature it at all.
So, but yeah,
It's just weird to me, but
exactly. Yeah, no, I
weird
agree
choice.
on
But
that.
other than that, I'm
Well,
okay.
I propose that we all reunite next year when the movie comes out and talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
That
host
yes,
would
an
be great.
we
IG
Yes.
live chat for
must.
Yes.
us prom
Yeah,
Ooh,
readers.
yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely do that. I'll just catch up on some comments then. So Larissa said Stein and Pike were obsessed with red hair and green eyes.
Yep.
Oh yes,
Mm-hmm.
I did notice it was. I think it was Rachel who had the green eyes in this one. I think. Stephen said I've never heard the Halsey Manor mentioned before. Like we were saying, there's just hundreds of mansions in the Fear Street woods. It's probably the safest place to be in the woods. Stephen said Rachel was too poor to be the killer. Oh, bless her. Oh, feel sorry for her. Kimberly said our outfits are on fire. Yeah. Larissa said switched is so balmy but so good. First person definitely worked in that one. I'm going to make that my next Fear Street read that I'm going to read. Sounds good. All caps Reva. Yeah, Reva is the best. So maybe I should do that because it is December. Maybe I should read that next. Stephen said Simone was the worst friend because she was killing everyone. So we'll chat about Simone in a second because we haven't yet. Stargazer said, but they all went out with her boyfriend. Maybe she should have killed him instead. Okay, Simone then. Yeah. Simone, what did we think of her being the reveal? Like, I was quite surprised. I have to admit, I didn't get it.
Well, I remember when I started rereading this. I hadn't read this since I was in the 6th grade. But I remember, it's funny, so with some of my Fear Street books, I put little cheat sheet slips in the books to remind me like who the killer was and what the motive was. And as I was reading it and I was being introduced to Simone, it triggered my memory. And I remember, and of course, it was Simone because the classic trope of the first death, the main death, no body is found. Yep. So when there's no body that pops up, that always translates into a fake death. Yep. So I was reminded of that as it went along. My 12-year-old memory was kicking in. So I enjoyed that twist because after all the shady boys that were being presented to us, of course it's one of the prom queen candidates herself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you know what? As I was reading, I completely forgot that they hadn't found Simone's body, which why then I think the ending was such a surprise to me. And I think they do quite well of not keep highlighting the fact about not finding a body because I'd forgotten about it. Poor Simone. How about you, Dustin? Did you like the reveal in this one?
I remember when I originally read it, I didn't see it coming. But, having aged a little bit and I can spot these types of things now, I can see it coming. But I do like that they made her own red herring as far as because she was wearing the baseball jacket and running off, carrying the bag. And you know what I mean? So she's like, oh, some guy was running off. It must have been a baseball player. But it was probably Justin's jacket.
Yeah.
The entire time she just took it. So I do like that,
Yeah, and how about you, Jesse? Did you like the reveal?
I did. I actually think this is one of the smarter of the Fear Street books, especially since it's one of the earlier ones. But yeah, I mean, just kind of fits that horror movie trope in general, right? If you don't see the dead body on screen, then that person's probably going to, pop up in the third act. So yeah, it was great. I read this one a couple years ago and, just reminded me why it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And what is true though, why did she, I know I did like the twist of it wasn't about killing the prom queens, it was killing the people who Justin had gone out with behind her back or flirted with and stuff. But it would have just solved a lot of issues if she just killed Justin, right? Like, why not just do it?
Why didn't she kill Suki?
Yes!
Right, yeah.
See, that's where I thought that Justin had worked it out, right? I mean, I'm giving him way too much credit here, right? Because he said, he said to Lizzie, don't tell anyone you saw me and Suki at the cinema. So I thought he'd worked it out and thought, well, I'll protect Suki because we need her in other Fear Street books. We'll protect Suki and not say so that she doesn't get killed, or he was testing a theory. So I'm probably giving him way too much credit, but I thought, maybe he'd worked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, like, doesn't he ask her out, and then she overheard him asking Lizzie out,
Mm.
and then she doesn't like turn him down until they leave the room,
Yeah.
and so she never heard her turning him down, and so she's like, "I'm gonna kill you
Yeah.
now, girl." It's like, no, I didn't go out with him.
Oh, and what did you think of that whole like ending as well? Like, obviously you're in the theatre. I loved that whole scene where Dawn got stabbed. Like, I did do a little cheer. I loved that bit. So, did you like that whole showdown ending, or did you want a little bit more from it, Hiko?
No, I did like it. It totally reminded me of the ending of Scream 2.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horror fans
Hmm.
having the climax, climactic fight take place on a stage.
Mm,
It was fitting. Although, again, the title of the book could have been, something to do with the play, because
yeah.
you would hope for some kind of climactic fight to happen at the prom.
Mm,
Um,
Hmm.
but
yeah.
yeah, I wonder if Kevin Williamson read this book and wrote Scream 2 to take place on a stage like that.
Would
Who knows?
be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. How about you, Jesse? Did you like the whole ending of Dawn getting stabbed and then, Simone getting stabbed in the leg by Dawn? Very
I
dramatic.
loved it. Oh no, this is one of my favorites. The third act is fantastic. Just
Mm.
and again, yeah, very much like Scream 2, but I wanted, I was kind of picturing it playing out in the rafters in that,
Oh,
room or wherever
yeah.
Simone's been hiding
Yeah.
out the whole time. So yeah, it was fantastic. Great killer reveal and just yeah, it
Mm.
was it was all great. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, and she'd been hiding in the closet in the prop
Hmm.
room up in the rafters, and I was like, and she was like, I knew my parents wouldn't miss me, and she was kind of right. They didn't really.
Yeah.
They did for the first day. They were like, oh no, poor Simone.
Living off cafeteria food, right?
Yeah. How about you, Dustin? Did you like the whole dramatic end?
I did, and I kind of want to, since this is taking place in the 80s in the movie,
Mm.
I kind of want to see like a good old-fashioned Dynasty girl fight. Like the hair
In
pulling and
Oh
like,
in the
yeah.
gowns.
Yes.
or
Gowns.
fall into a fountain at the
Yeah.
prom, like, and
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
That'd
Oh, I would
be
love
so
it.
cool.
Yeah, like she was probably surviving off rats. She's probably eating the
Yes.
rats.
She's
Her
gone
rage
feral.
fueled.
She's Michael Myers out now.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I am excited in the film to see how they do that reveal as well. Like, yeah, I thought it was quite good in the way that she stabs Dawn and things like that. So I'm excited to see if they do stick to it the same or if they do something
Yeah,
different.
I have a feeling they're going to use a different killer, especially if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
masked killer.
Hmm.
I really feel like they're going to really mess with the story in some way to make it more slashery. That's my,
Yeah.
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 yeah,
See,
yeah.
the reason why, at one point when I was reading this book, the reason why I was expecting one of the teachers was because I looked at IMDb at the cast, and because I was like, oh, I wonder who's playing who, but you really can't tell. And then I saw that Chris Klein
Hmm.
Yeah.
is in the film, and I thought, ooh, wouldn't it be interesting if he was the killer, right? So then I went back and watched like the promo that they did, even though I've banned myself from stuff like that. But I did go back and watch the promo, and I thought, oh, there's a scene where he's like looking at the stage, looking at, I'm guessing, the prom, and I thought, oh, that would be so cool. I'd like to see him as a killer. That's just my fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear. Speed Matrix said, all over a boy. Why did he get away scot-free? Yeah, Justin.
Hmm. Yeah.
Narissa said, dating in STINE books is very confusing. Yes, definitely. Stargazer said about Justin, also he ate the carrot cake as well. Lizzie's carrot cake or Lizzie's mom's carrot cake.
Oh, yeah.
Unforgivable. Teddy put, I'd still Justin over Lucas though, so I'd still have Justin over Lucas. Yeah. Well, yeah, Lucas didn't really give us any redeeming
Well,
qualities other than his murderous notebook.
Justin is the hot one,
Right.
and Lucas has the really
Mm,
almost cross-eyed look
Hmm.
going on. He's
Yeah.
creepy, and he wears nothing but brown with his brown hair and his brown eyes. So
sorry. Oh dear, what a
he's walking
what
poop.
a
That's what he is. He's
what
just
a
walking
man.
Yeah.
Stephen said Justin was getting handies from the girls. Let's be real here. Yeah, possibly. Speed Rating said, actually, why did her mum leave him in after leave? I presume leave Lizzie in the house alone whilst all this was happening? Because why did she leave Justin in the house while all this was happening? Because he could have been the killer, and Lizzie's mom wouldn't know that. Bad parents.
because the mom probably wanted him.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they probably used his charm
Oh,
on the
Yeah.
mom.
hello.
Yeah.
You
Kind of
can
like
have
Billy
my
from
carrot cake.
Stranger Things and Mrs. Wheeler. You know,
Yeah.
like, hi,
Hey.
go
Oh.
ahead, sit in the kitchen.
I'll
My
give you
daughter's
that.
lucky.
Have some of my cake.
Yeah, I'll give you extra
Oh,
portion.
Yeah.
Oh dear, munch. Stephen said Lucas was a sociopath.
Yeah.
Speed Ray Chick said, on the dog bit, I've erased that from my memory. That was shocking. Yeah, I think I erased that from my memory as
yeah.
well. Oh dear. But Stein does that a lot with dogs and pets,
hmm
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
In the books. Yeah, Larissa's just said the same in a comment as well. Sorry, I'm so behind. Heather said 7 Degrees of Fear Street. They're all in the bar getting trashed. Larissa said, I think I've probably got way behind. I'll just scroll down. Larissa said, realising how much of a mistake they made with their choice of property in Shadyside, yeah. Simone's parents only cared about martinis, apparently. Oh! Oh, poor Simone. I think I might feel a little bit sorry for her. Just
Because
a
she's
little bit.
nuts, you know.
Yeah. Larissa said nothing could really top prom dates. Tinfoil crown and greasy lipstick entry, let's face it. Yeah, so Prom Date by Diane Ho. The ending of that is just chef's kiss. It's brilliant. Yeah, it
There's
is a really
also
good ending.
I'm ashamed to say I never finished the Fear Street Seniors series, which were the final books in the original run, but there is a prom date. There's Fear Street Seniors prom date. So I've always been curious to
Ah,
see what that one's about. And it's hard to come by. Those senior books are rare
hard.
They're
now. So,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Very
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah.
I know
but
Jack from Jack Reacts has almost all of them now.
yeah,
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's achievement that is.
Hmm.
Speed Rated said, I'm looking forward to the scene in the movie based on the dream Lizzie has. So she kind of has that really creepy
Yes.
dream
Yes.
where basically this happens, doesn't it? I think, or
I marked that one
alludes
as
to.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be pretty
119.
cool.
Yeah, page 119. Or yeah, that where it's just all of they're all dead and decaying. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one that I really wanted to see on film. Oh, I lost myself. Oh well. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, bless
Aw.
you. Yeah, no, that would be a cool scene to do.
Yeah.
If they don't go, I mean, even if they go full out prom, even seeing that scene would be pretty cool, just from the grossness, and they could make it really gory as well. I reckon that scene that'd be cool.
you know what I've noticed that Stein does whenever he never just says maggots. He always says white worms. He
Yeah.
always does that. And it's like, why don't you just say maggots? He never says maggots. It's always white worms. Anyway.
That's interesting. Stephen said, I hope they use more of the source material in the new film than they did with the first three. Yeah, which is what we were saying earlier. Yeah, I hope so too as well, definitely. Larissa said, Shelley, remember when we talked about Midnight Club and thinking maybe you and Josh loved the Fear Street trilogy so much as you hadn't read many? Yeah, whereas I only watched once and read lots of them. Yeah, I agree on that. I think that's why I liked the Fear Street trilogy, because that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I really hope with this one that for the fans, they do it for the fans that have been fans for years. Because I know a lot of people were disappointed and things like that. So, Stargazer said, I don't know how Simone stayed quiet enough to hide long enough to kill everybody. Yeah, stealth mode. Oh dear. I mean, she must have been hungry. So even like a stomach rumbling, like that would be me. I'd be like hiding from the killer, and then I'd be like, I smell food, and then that's exactly what would happen. And then I'd just be dead. Stephen said Simone didn't kill Justin because she was digmatized. Oh dear. Stephen also said, I'm concerned about Rachel's funeral expenses since her family is so poor. Oh, poor Rachel. Well, there was enough bodies. They could have like a joint funeral, couldn't there?
Yeah.
Dump them in the same hole.
In the Fear Street Cemetery.
Your girls. Shady side prom queens on the
Put the prom dress on them.
on the tombstone.
Everybody gets a crown.
Oh yeah, and Stargazer's just reminded me that Rachel's dad. So this is why I was suspecting Rachel's dad at one point, because he took everyone out for ice cream except for Rachel, even though I know she didn't want to go. But like, you won't, and then she gets murdered. So how guilty must he feel for having that ice cream? Yeah. Not good. Stargazer said, I would have thought Dawn would have been the first victim since she took over Simone's role as Maria in the play. Yeah. There's flaws to Simone's plan here. I love Dynasty. I'd love a cat fight. Stargazer said, that'd be so cool. Stephen says, I have 2 sets of those seniors books. I got them a few years ago when I got back into Fear Street. Oh, wow. I love that. Stargazer said, I'm just getting into them and I was shocked at the prices they sell for online. I had to get this one. I'm sorry, I had to get the one for next month through Inner Library Lane because it was so pricey. Oh, don't talk to me about Double Date, the book I'm doing next month for December. Because when I put it up that I was doing it, it was cheap, really cheap. And and now I looked at the prices the other day to send the book to someone who I've got coming on, and I was like, oh my life, why has it gone so high? It's not worth it. It's a Sinclair Smith book. And just a little shout out to someone who we didn't mention who had a very gruesome death. Is it Alana or Eleanor? Are we saying it? Alana, yeah. And she obviously got pushed off from the top, which I'm now guessing she went into the prop room, got pushed, and that description of her bloodied, gory face was super cool.
Yeah.
And her arm bent the way it shouldn't be bent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Heather said no luck with Double Date. Yeah, I know, Narissa, you're not missing out, but we're gonna have a right laugh on the chat, I tell you. It's hilarious. So I'm gonna have a look online, see if I can find like any ways we can read it for free or something like that. It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be. Stargazer said get it through Inner Library Loan. Okay.
You can probably find it on archive.org too in the US.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, forgot about that. So, last question then, because I realise I've gone over my hour. But overall then, where does this rate in your Fear Street rating of books? That's a really bad question, but you know what I mean. Dustin?
It's definitely up there. It's one of the better ones as far as like the action and the intrigue and things happening. Because there are a lot of them that's like if nothing really happens, there's like one death and it's off book. It's like they find a body, and they're fearing for their lives the whole time. There's a showdown, but it's not. This has a lot more action and things going on and conspiracy and whatnot. So it's up there.
Yeah. How about you, Hiko?
Yeah, I think I would categorize overall the whole series like top tier, mid tier, and bottom tier. And I feel like this is in between top tier and mid tier. It's like
Mm.
straddling that border. I think it's funny enough. I think some of the cover art, being young kids reading these, I think the cover art is what leaves an impression on us
Yeah.
Mhm.
and creates that memory for us. So I just remember being drawn to this book for the cover and even the color scheme with
Mm.
the font of the title, the orange and purple
Yeah.
is just there's some kind of appeal to it,
Mm.
the sensibility of it. And so, but I did rereading this now 30 some years later. It it was yeah, it was enjoyable, and I think yeah, I would put it in that almost top tier position. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how about you, Jesse?
Yeah, this is towards the top for me as well. This is definitely one of the better books in the series, and I think this is probably my favorite of the original art, the original cover art. It's so
Yeah.
absolutely iconic. I hope they do something with the cover art for the movie as well.
Mm.
Maybe some sort
Mm.
of spin or something on it. But I've been reading these and rereading these as an adult, and there's some of the later entries and some of the other trilogies that I've read more recently that I've never read before. And Prom Queen still holds up really, really well. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug Silent Night for you too, Chelly. I like you really, really need
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna do
like
it.
just
Yeah.
one of the best in the series as well.
Yeah, I'm
It's one of the
gonna
super
do
chillers, so
that
it's a little
one.
Yep.
bit longer.
Yeah.
Yep. And
And
Yeah.
gorier.
iconic cover art too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I picture the cover really clearly. I'll have to double check whether I did get it because I did get some of the super chillers because I've been trying to get the American covers because
Hmm.
I've got quite a few of the UK covers, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
Like just and they did like a reprint rerun of covers like I don't know what year. I'll have to post it, and they are awful. They
Hmm.
went in like the
Yeah,
2000s. They
that's
went with like
yeah.
this. Oh, they're horrible. Like the new girl one. It's literally just like you're almost looking up a girl's
Yeah.
skirt. Like it
Yeah.
was like what
Yeah. It's
I
bad.
don't
Yeah.
understand. Like it's
Yeah.
so bad.
Hmm.
Like so
Yeah.
bad. So I have got a couple of those. So I've been phasing those out because I really just don't like them. I can't even bring myself to post them anywhere. They're horrible. So I'll have to double check if I'd got Silent Night. I'll double check after the chat, but definitely gonna check that out because I need to meet Reva definitely. Stephen says I agree, Hiko. The cover is one of my favourites. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the reprint covers are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Silent Night cover is the same across the board. Narissa said, "Oh, brilliant! That's good. Good to know." At least it didn't get a horrible reprint. Oh dear. Ooh. Whoever was in charge of that design did not do a good job.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. But guys, thank you for being the best prom dates a girl could ask for. Honestly, you were so good, and obviously I was prom queen because I've got the
Mhm.
crown. Well,
Thank you for hosting, and it's so good
Thank
to
you.
chat
oh
with all you
no,
guys again.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
no.
this was great.
As I say, we'll come back again soon. Perhaps we'll do some more Fear Street for the book club because I kind of now I've started. I kind of would like to do some more.
Yeah.
Just do it, and yeah, you'll have to come back again soon. And do check if you don't know Dustin, Jesse, and Hiko. Go and check their profiles out and their fab podcast. Everything, just check everything out. I'll put a little link up anyway afterwards. And thanks, guys, in the comments as well. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to try not to get murdered now, and I'm going to go and eat some carrot cake because now I've made myself hungry. Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.